Hello everybody, I am back finally. I wanted to make just a quick video on Lemurian crystals. I wanted to talk about what they are and how to tell if you have one, how to shop for them. I know there's a lot of mythology out there about Lemurians and where they came from and all that, and I'm not really going to get into that, but I did want to talk about how to pick one out, and that is by their shape. By their shape and also by their location. There are some crystals from other places that have some characteristics of what we call Lemurians, but they are not. I have a great example here. I have a piece of quartz from Arkansas that has, that kind of like bar coating on the side there that we associate with Lemurians, but this is not a Lemurian crystal. I guarantee you that somebody would try to sell it to me as one, though. That's another reason I wanted to do this video. Like, everybody's calling everything a Lemurian, and just calling a crystal a Lemurian don't make it so, and I get really aggravated about that. So I definitely wanted to show kind of how to pick that. Another thing that I see is people selling carvings saying that a crystal is a Lemurian. I think I just said that what makes a Lemurian is its shape. Like, that's what makes it special. If you take that and you carve it up, quartz is quartz at the end of the day, and once you've carved it, I can't tell that that's Lemurian. And I am not throwing shade on the lady that sold this to me. I love her dearly. I buy crystals from her all the time. She has wonderful, high quality goods. I wait for her live sales on Instagram all the time. But when I bought this little crystal skull, it was sold to me as a Lemurian skull, and that's not why I bought it. I didn't buy it because I thought there was something special about it being Lemurian quartz, because no, it's just quartz. I'm sure if you have been buying crystals for a while, you know that different points and different shapes of the crystal do different things. So the form matters. That's kind of what makes a transmitter a transmitter. That's what makes a channeling crystal a channeling crystal. It's the shape and structure of the point. So it turns out, as I was gathering all of my specimens for this video, like 80% of the crystal points that I have are in fact Lemurians. I'm like, oh, I'm selfish. I just think they're so cool, though. I really think it's the neatest thing. I know it's really easy to get, hung up and, and to worry that you're getting tricked or whatever. So we'll just get into it. This is the first Lemurian point that I bought, and it is my favorite. And I was very confident that it was a Lemurian when I purchased it, and I will tell you why. There is a man named Kyle Russell, and his website is called Crystal Concentrics, and he has a wonderful blog post on there called Lemurian Quartz Demystified, and I read and studied that post. I looked at his pictures. I highly recommend that you study that blog post and look at those pictures too. But if you're anything like me, you like to do lots of research. So here's how I knew that this point is a Lemurian. First of all, it did have the barcodes on it. Second of all, the sides of the Lemurian. See, we have this beautiful frosty side, and then we have these clear sides. Now, in a more perfect or desirable or whatever Lemurian, then you would have, ideally, there would be a frosty side and then a clear side and then another frosty and then another clear, and all the way around the 6 sides of the crystal. I don't know if I have ever actually seen a crystal like that. Maybe I have and I just couldn't tell from the pictures, but I know that I don't own one that is that perfectly sided. So I'm going to guess that they're pretty hard to find. That, by the way, is your Lemurian seed crystal. Is a Lemurian quartz that has that perfect like alternation of frosty and clear sides. The second way that I knew is because we do have like this broad flat side, and then there is a skinnier tapered side. And in his blog post, Kyle calls that tongue and pin siding. Because we have this broad flat tongue, and then we have, the skinny point. And you will see that in Lemur. That is one of the main things that I look for when I'm buying a Lemurian. Does it have, a flat side through which I can see the face, like exactly opposite it, coming to a point? Here's another great example of that in this wand that I have. You can see this is the back. There's that front flat side. This is the back. There's this flat side. You can see the face opposite comes to a point there. Also the tip of the crystal, and this is going to drive me nuts trying to show y'all. I already know, trying to get that to come in focus, but you can see, first of all, the faces, the facets of the crystal are wonky as hell. See, there's one that looks kind of normal, and then there's one that's like, what even is that? And then you have, three much smaller facets there, but you can see like that point is just really kind of wonky. I think in the blog post, Kyle said something about it looking kind of like nuclear, the symbol for nuclear power, and I can definitely see that. And also it has a face that comes to a slope there. Call that dolphining. And the crystal itself is very clear. There are not a lot of fractures. There are not a lot of inclusions. There is this nice big key on the outside where it was attached to another crystal, and you can see that the base is cloudy, but on a on a true Lemurian, any kind of impurities that you see are going to be on the outside of the crystal and not contained within. Here is an example. This is just a regular, this is not a Lemurian. You can see like it has lots of clouds in there. It has beautiful etching, and it does come from the same mountain range that most Lemurians do come from in Brazil. But that is not actually a Lemurian. Here's another one that is not a Lemurian, although it is a beautiful tabby quartz. We call them tabby when they're kind of flat like that. And here's another example of kind of a wonky one. And this is what I really love when I'm looking at Lemurians. Is when they are wonky and irregular. Like, to me, that is like the most desirable part, unless we're looking at a Lemurian with a muso habit, which I will go into in a moment. But you can see there's only one on this crystal. There's only one side that's really clear. Again, you have the wonky facets at the tip of the crystal. You have that tip that just does not know what it's doing. We have the dolphining, we have the laddering, we have just the squat, chonky shape. And, and I just love it. It does kind of have a golden hue to it. Again, that is from a coating on the outside of the crystal and not due to any interior inclusions. Again, you can see, like how beautiful and clear that crystal is. All right, and then we have, this is the muso habit. Now, there is not a lot of frosting. There's not any frosting on this one. Like, this crystal is just like a piece of ice. It has laddering on every single side. But when you look at this, and again, it's driving me nuts. I can't show you that very tip. It almost just looks like a triangle. We have these three really broad sides coming to the point, and the other three sides are set way back on the crystal. So it almost just looks triangular. This is a laser wand Lemurian. I think I've talked about this one before. I bought it as a meditation piece, not understanding that laser wands are what their name says they are. They're laser wands, and that's pretty much what they do, you know. So I pulled it out of the box expecting instant enlightenment, and I got, hi, I'm a wand, you know, and I just put it right on my altar and started using it, you know, in place of a dagger in my rituals. And here's another muso habit, and this one, I think, see, you can really tell how that just almost looks triangular. It almost looks like it only has 3 sides and not 6, because those other sides of the crystal are set so far back. And again, you can see again that beautiful triangle, flat side, opposite side comes to a point. You can see the whole opposite face in that one flat side. And this is a really special shape. When you see this particular shape, you know that you have a Lemurian. Like it actually doesn't need any of the other qualifications if it has this shape, is what I have been taught. And then I have a couple of others that are cute, but they're not my favorites. They're not, you know, what I think of as like the classical Lemurian. Although I feel a horrible snob right now talking about my beautiful crystals, because I do love them. I do, but they're just not, I don't think they have as many features that make them as obviously Lemurian as the first two that I showed you. Like this one, you know, there's not a lot of tongue and pinning. It is wonky as hell. You can see it has this big, beautiful face with lots of sides. Yeah, that face has like 7 sides. Sometimes they can have up to 8. Some Lemurians have extra faces, not just the 6 facets, but some of them will have like extra kind of sloped off at the bottom. I don't really have any like that, but you can see, I mean, like there's the front ostensibly on the crystal, and it is just crooked as hell. You know, the tip is obviously like way wonky, very little symmetry, if any, really not any symmetry, but it does kind of have some of that dolphining that I talked about. It looks like it has interior inclusions, but it doesn't. It's just kind of banged up on the back, but we love it anyways. And this is a very light-hearted crystal. I really like it. Just kind of tends to clear the mind very easily when held, for sure. And then I have, and here's another. This is another example. This is a black phantom Lemurian. I am not sure what the black inclusions are. They could be carbon. They could just be some shale in there. Again, see, here is a nice crystal clear side. Lots of frosting on this one. You know, you can see that tongue and pin siding. Broad, flat side comes to a point. You know, nice and flat comes to a point. But the tip is so perfect and symmetrical that I almost feel like it, like I kind of wonder if this crystal didn't have a little bit of human help to get that symmetrical and perfect of a point. If it didn't, then that is fabulous. But you know, it maybe some people would consider that a classical. For me, a great deal of the charm of Lemurians is when they are so wonky. It seems like such a human characteristic, and I know there are a lot of practitioners that really don't like to humanize or personify their crystals, but I do, because they are like little people to me, and I love them all so much. So I hope that kind of explains what you want to look for. You know, I do. I hope that made some sense to y'all. I had fun making my little video. I had fun showing off my crystals to you. These are wonderful, wonderful meditation pieces, great for spiritual work, great for just having because they're beautiful and they're freaking amazing. But I hope that if you are looking to purchase a Lemurian, that this did give you some pointers. Again, definitely check out that website, Crystal Concentrics, Kyle Russell. And I'm also going to post some links in the description for some Etsy shops that I have, that I know are reputable, and have the real deal. So, maybe you can look at some of what they have and figure it out a little bit for yourself. But that is all I have tonight. Thank you so much for watching.